Now that we all know what organic agriculture is through a few different lenses, let's talk about why to go or not go organic. Everyone comes to organic for their own reasons, from ethical perspectives to looking for more profitable markets. We think there's room for everyone under the organic tent. Before diving into specific arguments for or against transitioning to organic, let's meet some of our focus farmers and hear why they wanted to become organic.
I just knew that $3 corn is not very inviting. In the first year, I know when I raised my crop, it's 150 bushel. My neighbor had 200 on his conventional ground, and I had close to 200 on mine. And I told him he'd have to raise 410 bushels to match what I got off my acres. So right then and there, I felt really good to be able to say that.
We're certainly not in it only for the money, but that's a part of it. I mean, anybody tells you they're not doing it for financial, you got to feed your family and take care. You got to be sustainable. That's part of your sustainability. But it's certainly not the main reason or the only reason that we're in it,
I don't think I would be farming if it wasn't organic. I just think that was foundational to the way I wanted to farm. I would do it if it was less profitable, put it that way.
But it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
I just couldn't go back the other way. It's not rewarding using chemicals. I didn't enjoy what I was doing. If that was my only option, I probably would just get out of farming. It was not enjoyable to me. I'm making a quality product instead of a quantity product in the end.
I guess one of the funner parts of being organic is you're in more control of everything yourself. You're not relying on the fertilizer dealer or the chemical salesman. It's kind of you working with nature and the equipment.
I was just working with a lot of chemicals and fertilizers, and I was kind of getting sick and tired of the input costs, and so I started reading a little bit about organic production, and it kind of sparked an interest, and I kind of aligned myself with a lot of the same principles that organic growers were using, and opened my thinking up, I guess, to making our farm a little more sustainable, and that would help us financially to be profitable and keep the farm in the family.
One reason that I want to tell people to think about organic farming, so conventional farmers maybe that ask me, one of the things I'll say is, do you have a son that wants to farm? And if you're farming 1,200 acres, it's possible for you both to farm or transition or work it in a way that you can support a couple of families.
It's a real challenge, and I like challenges. That's the reason I decided to go organic, because I live off this land, and I try to get every possible yield out of every acre that I can without doing anything except looking after the land.
Yeah, if you're thinking about organic, I would take a hard look at it. If you're just in it for the money, there's a good chance that you're not going to be successful. You're going to put a lot of effort into it. You may lose money your first couple years. And then even once you're organic and have a better price, you're probably still going to have a lot of, we call it expensive educations. So I think it takes a commitment. And I think you have to be committed to the organic way. I love farming organically, no chemicals. It's a challenge. We have great soil health. We produce good crops. I think we're good for the local economy. We employ more people because it takes more labor. So all of that gets passed back to maybe threefold or fivefold back to the community too. So. But I think you kind of got to be in it for, not just for the money. If you're in it for the money, as soon as you get $6 corn, you might hop back. That's just my opinion.
In my years of working with thousands of organic growers, I've generally sorted the reasons for transitioning to organic into 8 categories. Profitability. You can generally make more money with fewer acres. Many organic farmers have a more stable income in a variable and increasingly competitive marketplace. These financial benefits, though, go well beyond the farm gate. A study put out by Penn State found a 1.3% reduction in poverty and a $2,000 per year increase in household income in what the researchers called organic hotspots. One more benefit of increased profitability is a huge one. Allowing for more farmers on fewer acres opens a pathway for successful farm transition and transfer to the next generation. This is something I hear about all the time. 2, market demand. Historically, there's been a consistently strong demand and a reliance, actually, on imported grain that's led to a hunger for domestically produced grain. That being said, the differential between organic and conventional rises and falls like all markets. It's not news to anyone out there that ag markets are fickle. 3. Opportunities with landowners. A story I've heard again and again is landowners specifically seeking out organic farmers to rent and farm their ground. It might be for philosophical reasons, it might be a desire to share in the increased profit potential, or a desire to improve the value and productivity of their land. Either way, within a competitive rental market, there are plenty of organic growers turning down offers of land. 4. Safety. As research increasingly points to the harmful effects of pesticide exposure, organic offers a safer alternative for farmers and their families. 5. Staying ahead of the curve. As the tools used on conventional fields, like herbicide-resistant crops, decrease in their efficacy, new tools and strategies are needed. Additionally, as the larger conversation about carbon farming and ecosystem services develops, organic farmers are better set up than almost anybody else to take advantage of those emerging markets. And this leads us into number 6, the environment. A focus on soil health, increasing soil organic matter, increasing water holding capacity, decreasing erosion, and building better, more balanced soils that don't need as much fertilizer all result in a healthier community on the farm and for everybody downstream or downwind of that community. 7. Resilience. A more diverse system is a more resilient one. Through more diverse rotations and income streams, stacked enterprises, and ecological diversity, many organic farmers find that they're better able to withstand the unexpected, whether it's a drought or a market depression. And finally, 8. Personal reasons. This is a big and, personal category. From growers who say things like, I like a challenge, to folks whose main focus is pollinator health, to others who like to know where their crop is going, everybody has a reason. However, organics isn't right for everyone. Why might someone decide not to go organic? I've got 4 potential reasons. 1. Transition is hard. You have to be really wanting to get to that certified organic promised land to weather 3 years of transition. It can be a financial hardship and has a very steep learning curve. However, transition is also the shark-filled moat that keeps the prices competitive and the growth slow enough to create space for new farmers to get into it. If it were easy, everybody would do it and no one would get a good premium. 2. A social cost. This was more true a few years ago, but many organic farmers assume that their neighbors are going to think about them as the crazy ones on the block, and their coffee shop is going to go silent when they walk in. Now, since organic is a little bit more mainstream than that, this shouldn't be as much of a barrier. 3. It's more work, and frankly, this is true. It is more work, from paperwork and record keeping to more tractor time and field prep work. It is more time consuming, but again, organic can be thought of as a fair compensation for increased management. 4. What they're doing is working. If a farmer is profitable and loves how things are going, loves what they're doing, why change it? I say more power to them. In addition to these reasons to not go organic, there are also bad reasons for going organic. The 2 that come to mind are, 1, it's an easy payday. As we've just talked about, that's just not true. You have to work for it. And 2, the farm is going under and this is the only way we're going to save it. If there are issues leading a farmer to struggle, like being over-leveraged or having a hard time finding good leases, or maybe just a limit in skill or proficiency, going organic will likely make those problems even worse. To put it bluntly, a bad conventional farmer will be a horrible organic farmer. But a great conventional farmer will at least be a good organic farmer. Not to beat a dead horse here, but one thing I do want to say and to be very, very clear about is that organic is more than working without chemicals to capture better price. Underneath every decision a farmer makes and every cent of that premium are important shifts in thinking, carefully written regulation, and a different set of practices and principles informed by decades of experimentation and revision. We'll be unpacking this idea as we go, but the true and regulated fact is that organic is a different way of farming and not just substituting organic for conventional inputs. Okay, I will get off my soapbox now. So there are plenty more specific reasons to hold off on transition. From a field that's too far away to a lack of access to capital, to maybe a family dispute over how to farm or even how to market crops. Generally, though, as one large-scale Canadian farmer said it, if he's a good conventional farmer and he wants to go organic, then all he's got to do is just do it. Wrapped up in this conversation of whether or not to go organic are lots of misperceptions and half-truths. Things like organic can't feed the world, organic is anti-science and technology. To tackle these common criticisms head on, we produced a podcast called The Dirt on Organic Farming. We talked to farmers and researchers and other experts to get to the bottom of some of the claims launched against organic and separate the fact from the fiction. Check out the link under the Dig Deeper header. So if farmers decided that in spite of the 3-year transition and the increase in time, increase in effort, they're excited to get after it and start their transition to organic, and they want your help. Awesome! We've got your back. There are, however, 2 transitions. Transitioning the land, which we'll learn about in the transition module, and transitioning the farmer. See you in the next lesson.
If he's a good farmer, and a good chemical farmer, and he wants to go organic, then all he's got to do is just do it.